Brittany Griner is playing a game, and this is what Brittany Griner calls. I was not going to comment on any of this stuff until this took place. Watch what she says. The entire internet has reacted to this. Here's Brittany Griner. They're playing against the Indiana Fever, and look what she's saying. Go ahead, Rob.
For the ticky-tack fouls that we were talking about earlier.
Griner voiced frustration in a recent interview, claiming that Caitlin Clark is ruining what used to make the WNBA great. Griner, what she said about the NBA. This is so funny how all this stuff works out, right? She says, this is from Brittany, every time we play her, there's this commotion, like this loud rumbling from the stands. Turns out it's people, thousands of them, just sitting there, watching on purpose. It's very disruptive. It's called a freaking game that they pay you money to play. Don't play the game. That she's sick of the event. And then she says, the whole thing is toxic. I saw a guy with his daughter in the crowd, both of them yelling, couldn't hear what they were saying exactly, but it was either about my performance or some light racism.
The entire controversy ignited during a routine WNBA game between the Indiana Fever and Brittany Griner's team. What was supposed to be just another night of basketball quickly spiraled into something much larger as Griner fouled out of the game. A hot mic captured what many believed to be her muttering a shocking racial slur directed at Caitlin Clark. Trash effing white girl. In an instant, this brief moment on the court set social media on fire. The clip went viral within hours, spreading like wildfire across every platform imaginable. Fans, commentators, and critics alike couldn't believe what they were hearing. This wasn't just some vague trash talk. Griner's alleged comment carried serious racial undertones that ignited an entirely new debate about the state of women's basketball and the cultural tensions brewing beneath the surface. It was no longer about the game itself. It was about race, privilege, entitlement, and the toxic culture infecting the WNBA. And that's when Patrick Bet-David decided it was time to step in and deliver one of the most brutal takedowns we've seen in modern sports commentary. Patrick Bet-David unleashes brutal criticism. Patrick Bet-David didn't hold back for a single second. As the founder of Valuetainment and an influential voice in business and media, PBD has a reputation for cutting through the noise and speaking directly to uncomfortable truths. Upon seeing the viral clip of Griner's comment, he launched into a blistering critique that left no stone unturned. He blasted Griner not just for her racially charged remarks, but for what he described as the entitled, hypocritical, and ungrateful culture that's taken over the WNBA. PBD reminded viewers that the U.S. government orchestrated an international prisoner swap with Russia, trading one of the world's most dangerous arms dealers, Victor Bout, just to secure Griner's release. And after all of that, instead of showing humility or gratitude, she makes derogatory comments about a teammate who is single-handedly keeping the league afloat. PBD made it clear that this was far bigger than a single insult. It was a microcosm of everything wrong with the WNBA today. Media and race narrative fuel. The Fire A's, with many controversies in modern sports, the media couldn't resist throwing gasoline on the fire. What could have remained a heated moment between athletes quickly became a national debate about race, privilege, and identity politics. High-profile voices like DeMarcus Cousins weighed in, suggesting that Caitlin Clark received special protection because she's white. Angel Reese, never one to stay silent, added inflammatory comments of her own. But the most jaw-dropping moment came when ESPN's Jameel Hill claimed Angel Reese could become the Michael Jordan of the WNBA, despite her shockingly poor shooting statistics. PBD dissected this absurd claim, pointing out how such ridiculous comparisons insult not only the intelligence of fans, but also the legacy of great athletes who truly earned their legendary status. It wasn't just a matter of bad takes. It was a blatant attempt by certain media figures to spin a racial narrative, rather than focus on actual performance. The insanity didn't stop there. The controversy took an even uglier turn when ESPN. Commentator Ryan Clark launched a personal attack on former NFL quarterback RG3, who had come to Caitlin Clark's defense. Instead of debating the merits of RG3's arguments, Ryan Clark dismissed his opinion outright, claiming that RG3's marriage to a white woman disqualified him from speaking on racial issues. The absurdity of this logic left Patrick Bet-David completely dumbfounded. Since when does someone's spouse determine whether or not their voice matters in public discourse? This wasn't just petty. It was openly divisive, toxic, and emblematic of the backward thinking infecting much of today's media landscape. Instead of discussing basketball, actual performance, or sportsmanship, the conversation devolved into personal attacks rooted in identity politics, a sad reflection of how far the dialogue around women's sports has deteriorated. The viral satirical quotes on Griner's attitude, "If you thought things couldn't get more ridiculous," the internet provided yet another twist. Satirical quotes began circulating, mocking Griner's alleged frustration with the sudden surge of fan interest in the WNBA, thanks to Caitlin Clark's star power. According to these fake but widely shared quotes, Griner was reportedly annoyed that fans were now actually showing up, cheering loudly, and placing unfair pressure on players to perform. She allegedly claimed WNBA games used to be quiet, peaceful events where players could even bring their laptops and get some work done during games. While obviously satirical, Patrick Bet-David argued that these quotes weren't far off from the entitled mindset many WNBA players have displayed. The very idea that professional athletes would resent fans for showing passion perfectly encapsulates why the league continues to struggle, alienating the very audience they desperately need.
NBA games used to be a chill, quiet place. You could bring your laptop and relax, maybe even get a little work done. But now it's like there's a large gathering of people watching us from the stands. Some of them are yelling crazy shit about what they're seeing, putting unfair pressure on us to score like we're there for their entertainment. And that's pretty gross. Are you
I act like this
okay, Rob, can you verify that this is...
While PBD was harsh on Griner and Reese, he also had some sharp words for Caitlin Clark herself. He criticized Clark for her attempts to appease critics by making public statements about white privilege and elevating black women. In trying to avoid backlash, Clark inadvertently weakened her own position. Her critics were never going to be satisfied by her statements, and her supporters were left disappointed that she felt the need to apologize for her success. PBD argued that athletes should stick to their craft and avoid getting dragged into racial politics that have nothing to do with performance on the court. In trying to play both sides, Clark diluted her own brand and alienated parts of her audience. A cautionary tale about the dangers of trying to appease those who will never accept you no matter what you say. WNBA's financial reality and media. Protection PBD also shined a spotlight on the uncomfortable financial reality facing the WNBA. The league is hemorrhaging tens of millions of dollars annually, surviving only because of the NBA's subsidies and corporate sponsorships. And yet, many of its players and media defenders refuse to acknowledge the dire financial situation. Instead of focusing on building the sport around actual talent like Caitlin Clark, the media protects underperforming players like Griner and Reese while demonizing the league's only real draw. PBD emphasized that no amount of identity politics or feel-good narratives can hide the cold, hard truth of market demand. Fans want to watch greatness, and right now, that greatness is embodied by Caitlin Clark. Protecting mediocrity while attacking your star player is a recipe for failure.
And I know Adam, I'm going to piggyback off of Adam because Adam's been saying this for a while, that this is why the WNBA is never, ever, ever going to work and never make money. And this is exactly what Caitlin Clark gets for bending the knee. Do you guys remember when she said, when we lost all respect for her, when she said, "I want to say I've earned every single thing, but as a white person, there is privilege. And the more we can elevate black women, this is going to be a beautiful thing." That's when it was all over. And Angel Reese and Brittany Griner, they walk around like the league owes them something. Even Ryan Clark's attitude as if, bro, where's the victimhood? These are freaking millionaires. Like, what are you talking about? It's attitude, it's no humility, just entitlement, and that's not confidence. It's
the numbers don't lie, and PBD made sure to break them down. Angel Reese, touted as the next Michael Jordan by some in the media, has one of the worst shooting percentages in WNBA history at 22.7%. Even within 5 feet of the basket, she converts less than 44% of her shots, meaning she struggles to make layups. PBD humorously pointed out that even NBA players known for inconsistency, like Karl Anthony Towns, would be insulted by the comparison. The media's desperate attempts to elevate underperforming players based on narratives rather than actual results undermine the league's credibility. In professional sports, skill and performance should dictate success, not identity politics, victimhood, or media spin. The Jackie Robinson comparison and the harsh truth in one of his most powerful arguments, Patrick Bet-David compared Caitlin Clark's situation to that of Jackie Robinson, not because she's breaking racial barriers, but because she's facing hostility from within her own league while trying to elevate the sport. Whereas Robinson faced external racism while revolutionizing baseball, Caitlin Clark is encountering internal resistance while bringing unprecedented attention, viewership, and revenue to women's basketball. PBD predicted that Clark's recent injury absence would expose just how dependent the WNBA has become on her star power. Without her, viewership and attendance would likely crater, proving that much of the league's supposed star power doesn't hold up without Clark leading the charge. If the WNBA continues to ignore this reality, they risk financial collapse, alienating fans, and squandering the greatest opportunity women's basketball has ever had.